Now, there's an aspect of this too, of, you could analyze the American church and talk about how the American church has set up to remove themselves from the poor. Maybe send money at best, but not have a lot of significant contact. Not see the poor weekly in their services, and there's an aspect of that I think that a church body loses. In a piece of that, I believe we lose compassion when we don't come in contact with people. But it's got to rock the boat some. And so I don't know if you've seen, I got to believe, there's been some challenges and also some wonderful things that maybe you guys even haven't quite, because it's so kind of young, haven't quite, can verbalize yet,
Yeah, we haven't, and I think this has just been God moving a lot. We haven't had huge challenges. I think leading up to starting this house, there was a lot of groundwork laid in terms of prayer and in terms of just really strong messages coming from the front about justice, about how Jesus is all about justice, and if this is the mission of Jesus, how can we not join him in his mission? So a lot of that had to come from the front and had to be really, it's been preached as vision, for our church from every, every Sunday. People hear it in some way about, we are called not just to speak with words, but to be the hands and feet of Jesus. So I think it has to come through all the different avenues and really be part of who we are as a church. So I don't know that, we're not there yet, and there are little bumps and challenges along the way, but I think a lot of how it's happened for us has been that having that groundwork laid, if that makes sense.
And again, to me, in my experience and what I've been able to observe and also run transitional homes, having Breaking Free as the partner to be that expertise. So even like when you've had women that have left, it hasn't been a heavy thing for you guys. I'm assuming that where do these women go next, or if it's not going to work in this house, or we just kick them out on the street. Breaking Free is taking care of the entering and exiting of individuals, and so really allows yourselves and your congregation to use their strengths of pouring into people and loving them.
Yeah, Breaking Free provides the case management. So they follow up, and that's with that model so far has worked really well. And a lot of the activities that we offer and provide to the women, it's been technically optional. We'd love to have you join on a Sunday morning, but it's not a forced thing. But thus far, they've all come, and they've all had such positive experiences in terms of your church is so welcoming. We feel great. Obviously some are like, I feel like I stick out because everyone's Caucasian here primarily, not everyone.
We stick out.
But that's what our makeup is right now, but it's the reality. It's the reality, but we still can love people.
And that's just that she pointed that out, that I like this church, is that your race has it doesn't matter what color you are, doesn't matter your background, it matters nothing, and we feel that in the church, which is why we feel comfortable being, we've traveled a lot, and so we've had to go to visit different churches and find a home that we felt comfortable in, and we understand Pastor Jim's vision for this church, and so if we, and my husband and I can follow that with him. We see that it's bigger than a race, or bigger than this city block. Right. And so we are confident and comfortable being here. If we were green or purple or pink, it wouldn't matter.
Thank you guys so much. You guys did an excellent job. And again, our prayer is that this gives other churches vision and other groups that are at a place of saying, how could we impact and what can we do? And they hear the number that there's only 50 beds. And there's waiting lists from one organization of 65. And not that it's a small thing that you guys have done, but it's been something that you guys have labored, but it's also very doable.
I would say it is very doable. And it is, in some ways, it feels like it's too small. but it's a start. And I think, who knows where God will take us from here, but, it's a start, and I think it's very within reach for any congregation to do.
Excellent.
Yep. And I think one other way I would summarize it is we see ourselves as a church and as a body. We are not called to, our mission is not community, but we're called to be a community on mission. So I think that's what we would embrace. And if churches have that mindset that we are called as a community on mission, that how can you not reach out and follow that? So I think that's kind of the mindset that we've tried to instill, is that God's called us on a mission.
Yeah.
And right now our mission is 3, hopefully soon 5 women across our parking lot.
Wow.
So.
And I'm sure you would agree that when we're a community on mission, it makes us stronger as a community. So, beautiful. Yep. Well, thank you once again. And so again, for those of you watching, sourceannex.org, you can see the part 1 of this interview and many other interviews that we are doing and posting with, we've mentioned Breaking Free several times. You can see Vanita Carter and Joy Friedman on there, as well as other interviews of survivors and pastors that are doing stuff in inner city and suburban and even in Waterloo, Iowa. Right. So thanks again.